Howdy, I am Jace and I'm a sex addict. Every week I come on to answer questions about my life as an addict or a person in recovery, or now someone out here just trying to figure out what it means to be healthy and happy. And yeah, got a really cool question in this week. I've been away for a couple of weeks. It's a really busy time of year for me. And so getting back in the mix. And I have a really busy day ahead, so I'm like still in my jammies, but I'm like, I gotta get a video out today. But yeah, so the question today was, do sex addicts ever actually enjoy sex, or is it always a degrading, negative experience for them? As with all my other videos, I can't answer anything about addicts in general, but I can speak on my own behalf. So, when I was in active addiction, did I actually enjoy sex at any time? Yeah, totally. Absolutely. There were partners that I really enjoyed, or different situations that were really enjoyable. There was even love and connection and caring in the mix as well, to the extent that I could do that. Of course, as an addict, my first priority was my addiction, and that really limits the amount of love and connection that I can have very much. So, though that was there at times, it is not at the capacity that I'm able to provide now that I am been sober for years and everything. The act itself could be very enjoyable too, even if it wasn't this, deep, loving spiritual bond, just the physical playfulness of it. There were times where that was really nice and really enjoyable. And sex feels good, like it's supposed to. And so, yeah, totally. There were times when it just felt plain good. The degradation came in for me at times when I was with partners I didn't really want to be with. Why would someone be with a partner they don't want to be with? Might be the next question. And that for me came up from anything from I didn't want to hurt their feelings. It would be awkward to not do it at this point. They wanted to, and I felt like, well, it doesn't, well, then why not? Like, it doesn't cost me anything. Might as well, like, do them this solid. Of course, I know that's not true now. It was costing me plenty. But, yeah, like, down to, I remember going on a bad first date. It was not enjoyable. Things did not go great. And then at the end of it, he was like, do you wanna come over? And like bad first date should be like, no, thank you. I don't enjoy you as a person. I definitely don't want you inside of me. But in my mentality at the time, it was like, well, this date was, so crummy. I might as well get something out of it. Very strange mentality to me now. So, and that was not enjoyable, but that's okay because it was over so quick. I hardly had any time to notice. So, yeah. But when it was degrading for me, yeah, it was usually with partners I didn't want to be with, or in situations that crossed my boundaries, which I did not stop. For instance, I can remember one situation with this guy. I was abroad, I was out of the country, met this guy, and just like, I just got this like weird vibe off of him or whatever. But anyway, I continued on with things regardless, and I was performing oral sex, and I'm just going to use the word, like, it was a violent situation. Like, it was really painful and scary, which is really weird to me. Like, if I had a penis and it was around, teeth were surrounding it, I would not act in an aggressive, violent manner, but that's just me. Yeah, it really hurt, and I couldn't say anything for obvious reasons, but I didn't feel I could stop it, and I felt that was appropriate behavior, which now I realize it's not, and not very respectful of me as a human and as a temple, and everything. So that felt awful. It felt physically awful. It felt demoralizing. It felt spiritually bad. And other situations like that or maybe even I did verbalize discomfort or pain, and things continued anyway. Things that are said can be really demoralizing as well, really degrading. There's a lot of porn viewing these days. I think it's become really common that people watch pornography on the internet, and there seems to have been this mesh, this like blend of worlds in some people's heads where they've watched so much pornography, and this was me as well, that that's become reality. And so one partner I was with, I had to remind him. I kind of laughed because I was like, "Is this happening?" I had to remind him, I am a human woman. Like those people, because and for me, it's like, oh, I know right where this is coming from. I've seen this scenario so many times in the pornography that I would watch, and because for me that was progressive, my pornography viewing got darker, more violence, more degradation there, like more unusual scenarios as well. And so I was able to recognize, I'm like, oh, I know exactly where you're getting this from. But I remember even he finished and was like insistent upon getting that on me. And I remember him even asking, like, oh, did I get a lot on you? Did I get it on you? Not like, oh my God, did I get that on you? But like, that was his goal and purpose. He did not ask if he could put his semen on my flesh. But that was like the goal. Because of course in pornography, there's nothing to be seen if someone finishes internally. So oftentimes that's an external climax, so you can actually witness it happening. And that is in some regards a degrading thing to do to a person, or to do to, if that's a woman, me in that case. If it's something that's discussed, that's entirely fine. And I've been in situations where that's okay with me. And if it's someone I care about, it's actually can be an enjoyable thing. But somebody using me to get that fix of like, oh, like, I've dominated, like now I'm on top of this situation, like a dog peeing on a hydrant, it's like, I am not a hydrant and I don't want urine on me at any time. Let me make that clear. So it can totally go either way, and I'm sure that's the case not just for addicts as well. And so, yeah, it can be enjoyable, totally, and it can be not so enjoyable. And yeah, so that's an answer to that question. There was a second half of the question, but I'll answer that in another post. So feel free to send your questions in through my website, suddenlycelibate.com, and feel free to ask me anything. Like I'll talk about pretty much anything. I'm really adamant that our culture does not discuss sex openly, and as a result, there's a lot of shame and misinformation around it just because we don't want to talk about it. And maybe it is a little bit uncomfortable, but as long as we continue staying silent about it, we're going to have these issues continuing to grow within people. So I think it's really important to talk about it. I love getting your questions, and I'm happy to be part of that conversation any way I can. So I will see you all next week, and until then, stay curious.